My name is Tony. I'm one of the founders and owners of Captis, and you can read more about us in the description below. I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel. We're going to be putting out more how-to videos like this one to really help business owners increase their opportunities to generate more sales and generate more business so that you can make more money. But we want to help you capture more customers, nurture those customers, and convert them into lifelong customers, and then generate more business for yourself, either through reviews or through customer ascension, meaning that you keep them coming back, buying more of your products or services. So in this video, I want to show you how to nurture new leads. When a new customer or a new lead comes into your business, how do you nurture them through the process to the point of sale and even after the sale of becoming repeat customers? You see, there's 5 stages to this process. 6 actually, if you want to count the ascension of new customers, but essentially 5 stages from the point of interest to the point of sale and the steps that follow after that. The first stage in that is what we're going to focus on today, and that first stage is how to nurture new leads with whom you have not yet been in contact with, meaning people that you haven't talked with either through text, email, phone, Facebook Messenger, Instagram DMs, or whatever it is. These are the leads that have either come in through your system, and I'm going to go through that. Actually, I'll talk about it now. I'll write it up here, which is step 1. This is stage 1, step 1. These are new leads, so you get leads, and they are entered into your CRM or your contact or customer relationship management system. If you do not have some sort of system that helps you manage all of your contacts, all of your customers, then you are missing out on incredible opportunities to actually help your business streamline the processes, saving you a bunch of time and generating more sales, which can give you more money. So if you want to save time in your business and make more money, these are some of the steps and things that you need to do in order to do that. So the first step in stage 1 is that you get the lead into your CRM. So you're capturing things like their name, their phone number, email, any other data points that you need to capture in order for you to be able to nurture those leads into lifelong customers. Generally speaking, though, you can do it with a name, phone number, and email. Texting is the number one form of communication anyway, so you certainly need a name and phone number. Email might be optional. You might want to have that, but you need to get all of this information into your CRM. This is one of the things that we help businesses implement in their business to help them save time and, like I said, make more money. Step 2 is to initiate a conversation with these new leads. So a lead comes in, you want to engage them within 5 minutes. Now, on average, and I don't know if you know this, but on average, it takes a business about 48 hours to respond to a new lead. Now, I've been in a variety of businesses and worked with a bunch of different business leaders and business owners. And most businesses, if you do not contact your customer on the first day, let alone waiting for another day, you have lost those customers. People are looking for a response within 10 minutes. So most people, if they don't get a response within 10 minutes, they're 4 times, and I don't know if you know this, but they're 4 times more likely to not do business with you. If you can engage them within 5 minutes, like actually engage them, and we have systems, I'm going to go through how to do that in just a second, but if you can actually engage them within 5 minutes, you increase your chances of earning their business. I don't know why I put a $ there, but I was talking business, but that's okay. Of earning their business meaning they want to spend money with you, you increase your chances of them spending money with you by over 300% if you can engage them within 5 minutes. Now, I can guarantee you that in your business, you do not have a human, a person, who can engage every single lead within 5 minutes. I mean, heck, even phone calls, about 50 to 60% of phone calls that a business receives go unanswered. And out of those, about 60+% are looking to spend money in your business. So if you have missed calls, I mean, every business has missed calls. How do you handle those missed calls is where I'm going to help you out. But you want to engage these new leads within 5 minutes. So we help businesses implement AI software into their CRM. This AI can either answer the phone calls and handle all of the common questions and actually sell your products to your customers. If that's the case, they can schedule appointments with your customers. So if you have to have a customer come into your store, like with buy here, pay here dealers or with auto dealers, they need the customers to come into the store at some point to buy the vehicle. Sometimes the AI can just qualify them over the phone, handle most of those common questions and issues over the phone right away, and then bring the customers into the store who are more ready to buy or who are more qualified to buy. And not everyone is going to buy from you. You have a specific set of customers that you deal with generally, and the ones who fall outside of that don't necessarily buy from you. You may find a few here and there, but generally you do not target every single person. And in the same way, neither does my business. That's why I talk about home service businesses and buy here, pay here, because those are some of our target audience for business owners. So you want to engage your customers within 5 minutes. So we help businesses implement AI and automations, because the combination of these AI-powered automations can really help you, like I said, qualify your customers and engage them within the first 5 minutes. If they do not engage within the first 5 minutes, I move to step 3. And that is assigned to someone who's going to nurture that. In most businesses, you're going to assign this to a salesperson. But you want to be strategic in how you assign these new leads to a salesperson, because your expectation of a salesperson is that they're going to engage your customers. If they're not at work, they can't engage your customers, so the AI did their job to try and engage them within 5 minutes. They didn't engage within 5 minutes, so they move on to a salesperson. The salesperson then has the task of engaging those customers immediately within the next 5 minutes. Again, they're looking for a response within 10 minutes. AI tried, didn't get through, so we funnel them on to, let's assign it to a person to follow up and engage this customer. You want to have this person do it, which leads us to step 4. In step 4, the assigned salesperson, let me go back to the salesperson real quick. When I say strategic, I mean not just scheduling on their day off, but you also want to take into consideration how skilled your salespeople are. If you have certain salespeople who are better at closing deals, you want to make sure they get more of the leads. New salespeople, if you just hire someone on and they're new to sales, you need to do some training with them and get them ready, and then they can start taking leads, but you don't want to give them all of the leads that you give like to the other salespeople who are more qualified or more skilled. So you want to be able to judge strategically for your business needs and assign your new leads to the salespeople based on your business needs, not on the feelings of your salespeople. And a lot of people miss that. So I'll just say that on there. Plus, make sure you're training your salespeople. So that's another thing on that. But that leads into step 4, which after the first 5 minutes, they're not engaged. They're now assigned to somebody who's going to manage those leads. Step 4, for the next 7 days. They're going to be in a nurture campaign. The goal of this is that they're going to have strategic attempts, your salespeople, strategic attempts to contact the new leads. That's through email. And I set up and help business owners set up these automated sequences. So automatically an email is going to go out every single day. A text, again, number one form of communication. The goal of these, the email and the text, are designed to get the contact or your new lead to engage so they align with the same message, not the same words, because a text is obviously you want to keep it short. By the way, if you can get your texts to about 160 characters and you can have a message written in 160 characters or less and be powerful with that, you get greater engagement. You don't want long text messages that people have to read because they're going to look at it and they will not read it. So you want short text messages that are going to capture their attention and help them want to respond. So you have to have high impact short text messages that they want to respond to, because the goal of this is to get them to engage. It is not to sell them your product. It's not to sell them a car or to sell them a new roof or anything like that. It is to get them to engage so that you can continue in the next stage, which we'll go into in the next video. Again, this is a 7-day nurture campaign. And then also the third thing on each day for the 7 days is a call. You want your salespeople involved. That's why you assigned it to them. Get them involved. So we help businesses set up a manual call so that the salesperson has a reminder, oh, this is what I need to do. And they press the button and the dialer calls out to their new lead, again, with the goal to engage. You can have it set up where they call at 9 a.m., at noon, and at 5 p.m. So you can have it set up for specific time frames, or you can have it set up for parts of the day, or however it needs to fall. But you want to make sure that your salespeople are manually calling your new leads. That's that 7-day nurture. This is a hard-hitting, I want to make sure I am honoring you. By the way, if you get a new lead, someone expressed interest in your business, let's say you're a pay here car dealer, you get a new lead, you know that that customer is interested in getting approved for a vehicle. They've put that interest into a bunch of other places probably. So you're not the only business that they're looking at. And if you do not respond, by the way, within 10 minutes, people are looking for that response. If there's no response within that 10-minute time frame, they're 4 times more likely not to do business with you. So you want to make sure that you're doing everything you can to respect them and their interests. They reached out to you because they're interested in getting approved through you or buying your product or service or whatever they need. They're interested in you. You need to respect them enough to have that same interest back. Look, I'm here because I want to make sure you get what you contacted us for. I'm a buy here, pay here car dealer. Customer gives their information. I want to make sure I do everything I can to respect them enough to reach out and engage them to help them get the approval they're looking for. Whether I can do it or not we got to figure that out. So I'm going to try and do everything I can to make sure I get a hold of that person so that I can honor their time that they took to get their interest to my eyes. That's why it came in to the CRM. That's why we implement the AI automations to try and engage those customers, because we want to respect them enough. They reached out to us, and we want to respect them enough to engage them and get them what they're looking for. That's why we assign it to a salesperson. That's why we have this 7-day nurture sequence where we're sending them an email and targeted text messages to try and get their response so that we can get them qualified and sell them a vehicle if you're buy here, pay here, or we can get their appointment scheduled to look at their roof. It's storm season in a lot of places. I happen to live in Oklahoma. There's storm season in Oklahoma. So there are people that need roofing companies to come repair storm damage on their roofs or replace their roofs because of storm damage. They're getting their information to you so that you can do that. And if you're not willing to take the steps that are necessary to respond to them and respect them enough to get them the information that they have, you really don't deserve to have that business, and they're going to go to somebody else who does. They will, 80 to 90% of customers will purchase from the business that contacts them first. If you're not the first to contact them back, you're probably not going to get their business. And it's because you didn't respect them enough to get the tools in your company and in your business to be able to nurture them the right way. Step 5. For everyone whom you do not get in contact with in this 7-day sequence, because you're not going to get a hold of everybody. Some of them start ghosting and they get busy, they forgot, whatever the situation is. You're not going to get a hold of all of them, so they move into a long-term nurture. This is day 8 through 30. Now, the nurture slows down a little bit because these are no longer hot leads. In the first 7 days, you have a better chance. In the first day, you have a great chance to help them become hot leads, which is stage 2. And we'll get into that, like I said, in the next video. But this long-term nurture slows down the communication a little bit. You're not getting an email, text, call every single day. You'll get an email follow-up or a text follow-up. You'll get a reminder for the salesperson to call them back every other day, whatever the sequence is that you want to have set up. We established this where they get a text one day and then the salesperson calls up on the second day. We especially implement this in the buy here, pay here business and for buy here, pay here dealers for our clients, that they get a text one day, the new lead after day 8 through 30, they get a text one day, and then the salesperson who is assigned to that lead gets a task to follow up or to call that customer. And then that's the next day. So every other day, they get a text and then a phone call, a text and then a phone call for the 30 days. The reason I do that is, again, people get busy. They put their information in late at night, the AI, they didn't really want to engage it, whatever. They go the next day, the salespeople have been trying to call them. They get caught up with other stuff. They've ignored the text. Okay, oh yeah, I'll get back to that later. So we set this up to try and engage them within 30 days. This is generally a time, and for a lot of dealers, it really depends, and I say dealers, even home buyers or roofing or home service people, it could be a 10, 15-day process for them to actually respond or communicate. So it varies depending on the businesses, but that's why we do these long-term nurtures. I also then move them, for everyone whom we do not engage again, we move into step 6. And this is an indefinite. I call it a reactivation nurture. This is indefinite until they opt out. By the way, and I don't know if, I don't think I mentioned this. Step 1, the way you got them is they opted in. They filled out a lead form on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, or if you're business to business on LinkedIn or some other platform, your marketing funneled them. It could be on your Google business profile, by the way. Marketing funneled them to a landing page where you have a lead form that says, hey, opt in and we'll get you this information. They opt in. By the way, you must have an opt-in option. You also, because they're opting in, you have to provide an opt-out option. And we help our clients implement both of these processes into their systems so that they are set up and compliant so they don't get in trouble. So we work with dealers on that as well. But this reactivation campaign is an indefinite campaign until they opt out or are contacted and move into the hot lead stage. Excuse me. Or they move into a later stage, like they actually just come into the store and they purchase, or whatever the case is. But this reactivation campaign moves them in to, and it's a much slower campaign. They just get every 3-5 days or whatever it is, hey, here's an email reminder. And this one is very soft, if that makes sense. It's just designed, here, put us back out there. We haven't been able to get in touch with you for 30 days. We're not going to spend a lot of time, and we're certainly not going to bombard you with a bunch of messages to try and get you to buy from us, because you're probably not interested anyways at this point. But just in case, we want to keep our business in your window, if that makes sense. So we want to make sure that we just stay in front of you a little bit. So it's a slow campaign that is really just designed to reactivate them. And if they engage, wonderful. They move into the stage 2, which is the hot lead nurture. And we'll talk about that in the next video.